Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay Knight and I'm here to teach you the tarot for free. Welcome to lesson 18. In our last lesson, you were introduced to the beauty of the major arcana. And there's no doubt in my mind over the next few months, over the next few years, you are going to expand your connection with these beautiful cards that will be unique to you. And so what I thought that I would do with this lesson is I'm going to bring you down. Here we go. Look at, they're all together. Look at that. Here they are, all together, all 78 cards. So one thing's for sure, just shuffle them up. And this is what I talk about a lot. People say to me, does a card have a specific meaning? And my answer is yes, 100%. Can it be wishy-washy? It better not be, because if it's wishy-washy, then that means your interpretation of it will be wishy-washy too. So I thought what I'd do is, as we spoke about before, every single card is an aspect of either an experience or it's a language. It's a language based in symbols and a card. And so what I'm going to do is go through them. So for me, when this card turns up, I know without a doubt that either a person has a new job, new opportunity to making money, feeling more confident, or having something inspire the need to look in terms of our confidence. Home. Either connecting with our home, the purchase of a home, feeling more at home, and that's what this card. The moon is all about, for me, is just the unknown, just the energy of the moon. It can represent the goddess, but typically it's people that show a certain amount of anxiety of not knowing what's coming, and also the slow change that may occur. Queen of Rods, she gets things done, very controlling, can be absolutely focused, but she just makes things happen. She's the Queen of Rods. In some ways, she's a doer. So often she may be a little bit overbearing. She may not like to allocate different jobs. And so she really has a hard time sitting down. So if this card comes on the table, I know that there's a very busy, focused female that's either really enhancing a situation, or she could be just causing absolute havoc. Strength. I love this card. Just knowing that the person has to tap into their strength and get to know how powerful they are. Most of us believe that we are powerless in so many situations, and it's only when we have to tap into this inner strength. And for that, we should just be grateful. The Star. This is a card that, unfortunately, I have to be honest, I don't see it as much as I'd love to. So this really is where you're just shining in your life, where there's this beautiful energy, where there's hope, where there's inspiration, and where you get to shine in your life. Family, marriage, fulfillment, commitment, kind of moving away, taking whatever and just trying to find a safe place to fall. Here, no doubt, there's issues. Nobody really claims the issues. Nobody really takes, the issues and sort of confront them. But it's like finding some place where they can just be safe. It can also represent a move because it's in a boat. They're in a boat and they're on the water. Foreseeing what's ahead. Being able to see if you do this, what's going to happen in 3 months. Kind of projecting ahead. If this card comes on the table, I know the person in front of me is just absolutely having to surrender whatever their beliefs are, whatever their thoughts are. It's like they just say, I can't do this anymore. And so really it's a shifting of their mind, or the need to shift their mind. The Apprentice, just learning, the student. This one, coming into a truth that absolutely changes everything in your life. I mean, for me personally with the Tower, if my hubby was cheating, I'd rather know than not know. Even though it would be shocking, I just would rather know. So the Tower for me is a powerful but a spiritually motivating card. Relationship, commitment, union, timing, opportunity, universal kind of energy all around it, movement. This lady here, I'm telling you, whenever she hits the table, I don't know who's in front of me. I don't know if there's an assertive female in front of me or a female that definitely is hard to reach. But this one, for me, is a very strong card. Very loving, nurturer. If this card came in, then you just know somebody around is supportive and loving and compassionate and maybe just overwhelmed with other people's energy as well as a result. So she might be a bit of a sponge. The Empress, the Mother, beginning, seeding, manifestation, growth. Lovers, this could be a relationship. It could be the potential of a relationship. It can be coming into a relationship with yourself, an emotional relationship, the lessons of love, the lessons of union, loss, and grief. Page of Rods, just depending, of course, what the other card says, this could be a young soul that is just spinning or doesn't have direction, is trying to find their way. Definitely anger. Like if this card comes up, I don't know whether the person in front of me is angry or somebody around them is angry, but this card for me really speaks about anger. Bit of a wall, emotional wall. And being hard to reach this person emotionally. They may not be particularly generous when it comes to expressing their emotion, or they may just be shut right off, just shut right down emotionally. Queen of Pentacles, if this card hits the table, I know somebody in front of me is a manifester. They work hard, they're committed. This one is where a person just feels they have no power, where they just feel like their hands are completely tied and they just feel like they have no choice. And that their mind is just obsessing about something that they just can't come away from. Abandonment, rejection, loss, dismissal. High Priestess, record keeper, our intuition, being guided by our intuition, our history, our files. Chariot, liberation. This card often will surface if a person is just newly separated or they're already out of the relationship or someone that is directing their energy forward. Confrontation, a battle. Reflection on what's working, what isn't working. A child, a baby, vulnerability. Manipulation, shapeshifter, creativity, avoidance. Someone who is either silenced or they don't know how to communicate or they're learning how to communicate. Or gossip. Knight of Rods. This, whenever knights hit the table, I always know there's so much action. So this knight, if he's focused, if he's grounded, he's very useful. If he's not, then he's nothing but trouble. Hesitation, reflection, kind of stepping back, creating an emotional line. Spiritual leaders, spiritual lessons, our wounds, our spiritual path, the teacher. Emperor is the father, just all the issues around father and leader. Feeling like you can't move, that there's no way out, that there's no options, and this is in the mind. New direction of energy where something has gone away, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, and it's a redirection of energy. Celebration, union, community, wedding, just where there's a celebration. It's where you need to focus or just say, forget it. I'm just letting the chips kind of fall where they may. Judgment, analysis, karma, cause and effect, reflection. This is for me the ego card, like really looking at your intention, how you're perceived, the importance of how you're perceived, why you're giving, who you're giving it to, what it is that you're looking for. Laying down load, like this card, whenever it hits a table, I know whoever's in front of me is ready just to say, I've had enough. I've just had enough, and I'm laying down all of the wands and moving in a different direction. Health, happiness. This person where they just absolutely stand behind and draw a line and feel proud of what they've done. It's not really a battle card for me. It's more like I've got my history behind me and I'm totally cool with that. And I'm not going to defend my actions, but I'm going to stand in front and behind of my actions. New romance, new opportunity, emotional breakthrough. Often somebody who comes and they're really emotional and they think they're having a breakdown, they often, for me, would get this card. Crossroads, which way to go, changing your mind, changing beliefs, trying to come out of a pull where often it's like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? Justice, advocate. Could be a court action, could be some legal thing, but it's really the advocate where you have to stand up and restore your balance. Holding on to money, protection, somewhat of a guard. Childhood, courtship, dating, the church, our morals, what's the right thing to do, our guilt. Could be a death, could be a marriage. Knight of Pentacles, they typically are helpers. They want to help, and I can be a knight. It doesn't necessarily have to be male, but it's where somebody is just called to action to be of service. Really having this huge, beautiful, like where we elevate our emotional state, emotional importance, work, need to work, mastering our work, having to go back and deal with stuff in the past. Often with the King of Swords, like this person is hard to negotiate with. They definitely may have a closed mind, very rigid in their thinking, or just depending on the other cards, it may be just trying to communicate in a way and it's more based in logic. Transformation can be a death, shedding, new opportunity, kind of resting, taking a break, a spiritual kind of reflection, giving up a battle, retreating. Inheritance, our family, where we come from, our parents, our siblings, our marriages, our children, what we give away, if we're in sacrifice, if we just need to allow ourselves just to be still, for everything to kind of settle down a little bit. Disappointment, retreating, identity, kind of this path of figuring out who we are and going on a new path. Often people that leave marriages or quit jobs or just change their life dramatically or come into the Tower medicine, then this card often will surface. New way of communicating, spiritual breakthrough in the mind. King of Pentacles, usually very solid person. It can be where somebody is very responsible with money or very controlling with money. King of Rods, if you get a lot of kings on the table, and often that may happen, and it may accompany like the union card, then you know like the king is running the show. Temperance, sort of taking something and turning it into something beautiful, spiritual healing, spiritual acceptance. The world, just feeling more fulfilled, more whole. Entering into some sort of contract, just feeling that a negotiation, balancing of energies. For me, this, whenever, and this was an interesting card, but for me, ultimately, it's whenever this card hits a table, it's usually as a result of some sort of addiction or obsession. You know how they say the devil made me do it, like you cannot help yourself? This for me is the devil card, where you just feel like you have no power. To me, that's probably the worst thing of all, is when you feel you're under the control of some other substance or some other person, or where you just feel you're gripped in it. Page of Pentacles, perhaps you're just starting a new job, perhaps you're just newly single. So, I mean, it's really being able to see the vulnerability of the Page of Pentacles, not having a lot of confidence. Balancing money, finding our grounding, our footing, standing our ground, having all this distraction come up. This really is where you work through some stuff, and that's good, but there's still some stuff that you're carrying that, you know, if you want, you have an opportunity to go back and take a look. Betrayal, injury, realization of emotional betrayal, some sort of struggle. It can be a conflict inside of you. It can be a conflict with someone else. Someone that's pursuing you, or romantic interest, or you kind of having this new zest of passion in your life. Independence, knowing your value, being self-sufficient, work hard, all that. So beautiful. And this one is kind of being emotionally overwhelmed. So when this card hits the table, again, I know whoever is in front of me just can feel very overwhelmed. So again, it's like you being able to go through your cards. Like you may have it different, but I know for myself that this means emotional confusion. This card is where they feel that they cannot move. This card is no doubt rejection, dismissal. This card is just emotion, relationships, a new relationship, passion. This is where the person just absolutely gives up whatever it is they're thinking and have to reconsider new beliefs. And even if you just go and you just pick them out and say, okay, what's this card? And you take a card a day or whatever. All I know is one thing for sure, is I believe although you will expand and broaden your definition, you had better know what that card stands for. Because if you don't, if you're wishy-washy, then your readings will be wishy-washy too. And this is the conclusion of Lesson 18.